Let's talk about protecting your dog's eyes this summer, because we know during the summer months, the sun is a little extra bright, it's a little extra hot, it's warming up the world around us, and it can be really, really dangerous to look at the sun. And unfortunately, our dogs do not know better than to not stare at the sun. And so while we're out about doing things, you want to make sure you're paying attention to how your dog is behaving, what your dog is doing, and you are covering their eyes if they're dogs that are prone to laying out in the sun, to being outside with you a lot, to traveling in the car a lot, or even if they're the kind of dog who likes to sit by your big open window or your sliding glass door directly in the sun. Because even if they're not looking directly at the sun, that sun is coming down on their faces, and you've got to make sure you're protecting your dog. This is, of course, not a 24/7 job for you. This is going to be as you notice it, as things are happening, and during specific times and specific things that you're doing, but we want to be mindful of it and be prepared for those moments. So you want to make sure you keep your dog in the shade. You can do something like getting a little pop-up shade for your windows. This is especially helpful if you were in the car, and we've actually done videos on that before. I have pop-up shades that I keep in the back pocket of the front seats, and then I just pop those out and stick them up in the window to help protect their eyes while we're traveling in the sun in the car. You can also do that for your sliding glass doors. You can do it for your big picture windows. If you do not want some kind of shade, you can also do privacy film. And there's some really cool privacy films. I actually have some in my house that look like stained glass. They are gorgeous and they're rainbowy, and I love them, and they keep creepy people from looking in my windows, aka my mailman. And so you have the ability to kind of put some of those up. They're just kind of like window clings that you just squeegee right on, and then you can take off whenever. And it's a really nice alternative that also elevates the look of your glass. I'll link my favorite down below, or at least the one that I have, and there's lots of other design options. If you click on it and scroll down, there's other options as well. So you can put up some privacy film, you can use different screens. You can also just make sure you keep them out of those areas. If you know the sun's gonna come in at a certain time, block them so they can't get to that area. Put up a little gate, put up some boxes, put some bins there, something that they just can't get around to be in the sun during those specific hours. Now, if you're going outside, you also want to take into consideration how long you're going to be outside. If you're just running outside, coming back in, you don't have to worry about it as much. But if you plan on sitting around the pool for a couple hours and your dog's going to join you, now we have to start thinking about shading their eyes a little bit. One of the things that works really well for most dogs, not all dogs, but most dogs, is a cute little hat. So if you are going to grab a hat, you want to make sure it has space for their ears to come out. These do work better for dogs with ears that go up. My dogs have ears that go down. Well, 2 out of 3 of my dogs have ears that go down, and it is a little bit harder to use those with those dogs. So you're gonna wanna size up whenever possible if you have dogs with floppy ears, but you're probably gonna be good normal sizing for dogs with pointy ears. And then you're gonna look for something with a brim. Some of them are a little bit bigger, some of them go all the way around and are a little bit shorter. It depends on your dog's head style. They are going to be different, and there will be different fits for different style dogs, and you're just going to have to try it. It is literally a trial and error process to figure out what's going to work well for your dog. And when you find one, maybe order 2 or 3. If it works well, maybe have a couple backups. You do want to make sure it does have some elastic, so it's going to have elastic on either side and a little button that kind of zips up under the chin. You can see it right here on Ember, and that is going to allow you to just elastic it right to their head so it doesn't fall off and they don't struggle with it. Not every dog is going to like a hat. Some of them will try to scratch or shake it off, so be mindful of your dog, but this is a great thing to test out to see if it's going to work well for you. Additionally, you can get your dog sunglasses. Go to a dollar store and get a kid-sized pair of sunglasses for most dogs, unless you have like a massive dog, and you actually have you can get them on Amazon. I got mine on Amazon, so I'll link those down below for you, but there's a little it's like a kind of a fabric that sticks on the back end of each of the glass sides so that you can just tuck it here, and then it goes around behind their back, and you can zip it up or you can tie it up so that this glasses stay on their face. And you're just going to want to have them sit in the face, and it depends on your dog. This one's a little less comfortable for some dogs, so hats might be a better choice, but glasses are something that you can absolutely do. And if you do work with glasses, your dog's gonna look extra cool this summer. Even if you're not using them for eye protection, it's really fun for photos. So I do recommend grabbing like a cheap pair of kids' sunglasses, grab the little loops that allow you to keep them on their head, and then just have some fun pictures, like during your picnics or pool time or whatever it happens to be, to help keep your dog's eyes shaded. You also want to make sure you're providing a space for them to be in the shade. So a little pop-up tent where they can be shaded. They make those, especially for like kids at the beach, that your dog can just kind of sit in this nice little shelter. It keeps them a little bit cool. It keeps them in the shade a little bit, and we don't have to worry about the sun hurting them. Even though they have fur, the sun can do damage to their skin. And we do not want to put them in situations where that could cause things like cancer. And so you want to make sure you're shading your dog as much as possible. And as always, if you're out in the heat, if you're out in the sun, be hyper aware of things like heat stroke in your dog. So make sure they're cool, make sure they're on a cooling gel mat. We've actually done videos on that before. Make sure their eyes are protected, make sure their skin is protected. Make sure you're being mindful of them and treating them just as carefully as you would with your children, with yourself, maybe better than yourself. Sometimes we don't take quite good care of ourselves, but making sure that we are taking care of our dogs is really important. And protecting their eyes, because they don't know how, is incredibly important. If you have ideas on ways to protect your dog's eyes while you're out and about this summer, go ahead and let us know. Those are some of my favorites, but there are most certainly lots of other options, and we want to form a community conversation. So now's the time to drop that down below. Let us know what you use, and we will be checking into those for future videos as well. And follow along for daily videos helping you navigate the world of dog parenthood to help you level up from your pup to make sure you are giving them the best life possible with the most amount of ease that we can. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.